This is episode 2 of our travel series, and today's topic is shared journeys, the benefits of traveling with friends. Hello, Sue.
Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm very well. So traveling with friends. In the last episode, we talked about solo travel. What do you think are the benefits of traveling with other people?
When you travel with other people, you have these shared experiences. And that makes you bond with them for life. You experience the same things. You have stories that are the same. And these stories you always remember.
Yeah, I think the key is the stories are unique to you and your friend or the people you're traveling with. You two were in that place when that thing happened. You have that unique memory that nobody else has. So yeah, this kind of connection that you can get with somebody by going to this new place and having this kind of unique experience, it does kind of create a very strong bond. I think it also helps you get through maybe difficult situations. In the last episode, we talked about developing the confidence to kind of get through difficult situations. But sometimes it's nice to have a friend, a travel buddy with you to kind of help make a difficult decision or solve some kind of problem.
Or even just make mistakes together and then laugh about it. Right? So
Right.
it's not always about doing the right thing. These experiences are also doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And then trying to get out of difficult situations and just remembering that's a good laugh later on.
Yeah. Remember the time when we missed the bus and the next bus wasn't for 8 hours, and we went to this place and did there's so many kind of mistakes that you make when you travel, and if you've got somebody to kind of have a laugh about it, I think it can be very helpful.
It is also good that, when you travel with somebody, they might have different interests to you. So they might kind of push you to go along and do other things. It's always 50-50, right? You have to go to things that your friend wants to go to, and your friend will go to things you want to go to.
Yeah, you have to kind of negotiate. This is a shared experience, a shared trip, and you can't always just do what you want to do. Your friend wants to see this thing. They want to go off to a temple or a museum, and you're not really that interested, but maybe when you're there, it's actually better than you thought. Or maybe it completely blows your mind. Like, wow, I would never have come here if you hadn't suggested. So yeah, it can help, with your sort of personal development, to see these new things, experience these new things. And there's just the emotional support as well, when you're tired, and you've been on the road for several weeks. Just being there for each other. I think a long trip by yourself can be tough for some people. But if you're with a friend, it can really help you to kind of get through those difficult times. I think another aspect of traveling with other people is the financial aspect. This is a more practical reason for traveling with other people. What do I mean by that? What do you think, the financial benefits of traveling with somebody else?
Well, traveling is expensive, even if you're trying to save money and doing it on a budget. There's many things you want to do and go out and explore. And that can get expensive. But sometimes maybe you can share the costs of maybe a taxi or a room at a hotel, or certain experiences that, can be a group experience, and then maybe it's a little bit less money. If you rent a car, you can share those costs.
Yeah, I think accommodation is a good example to look at. If you travel by yourself, some hotels will charge a premium for what they call single occupancy. So one person in a room, they might charge extra. Whereas if you're sharing a room with somebody else, then you're splitting the cost, and it will be cheaper per person. And you have to remember that accommodation is one of the biggest expenses when you're traveling. You need to pay for somewhere to sleep every night. And again, if you're traveling for weeks, that can really build up. That expense can really be quite large. So if you're able to split the cost of accommodation with somebody else, it can really help. And yeah, I think taxis is a good example.
Yeah, taxis sometimes, maybe where you're traveling, the public transport is not that easy to navigate. But taking a taxi would be expensive on your own. But if you can share that cost and make your day a little bit easier, that really changes everything.
Yeah. I think also this is more focused on young travelers, or perhaps people who are traveling on a tight budget. Very often, if you're staying in a hostel, you have the ability to cook. Many hostels will have a small kitchen where you can cook at home. You don't need to eat out every night. You can actually go to a little supermarket or shop, buy some basic ingredients, and cook for yourself at your hostel. And again, being able to split the cost of that with your travel buddy can really help you out. So for example, you buy a bag of pasta, and that's usually not for one person. That's usually maybe for 4 people, or maybe at least for 2 people. So if you can get a couple of people to share that with, then you can actually save a lot of money on going out to eat, which is usually a more expensive option.
Sharing the cost also allows you to kind of not overspend, because you have to be aware of other people's budget. So sometimes I think when you're on your own, you think, okay, I could spend more here. It doesn't matter. I'll deal with that later.
Right.
But when you're traveling with friends and you're sharing the cost, you are a little bit more mindful, not just about your friend's budget, but also yours. You cannot make these quick, bad decisions because they are shared decisions.
Yeah.
So maybe it also helps you to keep your budget a little bit more healthy and not kind of think like, well, this is amazing, I'm just going to spend all my money.
Yeah. I think it's very easy to just say, let's just do it. We'll worry about it later. And yeah, that can cause you problems down the line. It's not always easy traveling with other people. Emotionally, it can get tough. Being together all the time can be quite draining. So that's an important thing to remember. Maybe sometimes, every few days or whatever, you say to each other, okay, I'm going to go to this place and do this thing, and you can go and do whatever you want to do, and you have a bit of time away from each other. And then you come back and you can share your experiences. I think that's an important thing to remember. Try to find time separate from each other, so that you can actually come back and remember why you decided to travel together. Because if you decided to travel together, you must be good friends. You must like each other. So don't let a long journey spoil your friendship.